Hello friends. Sorry it's been about 2 weeks since I last posted. I went on a posting blitz there, posting something every day, and I do apologize. Both myself and my family were under the weather, and now we're okay. So that's what's been going on, and I think I posted something on YouTube community about it, but here's my review. At first, I had a response, sort of a defense of Mean Mr. Mayo and his boycott the Paul McCartney lyrics book. I had that all set to post. Then he posted why he bought it. So I mean, good for him. I might buy it. Yeah, just to touch on that briefly here. There's just so much stuff out there that I need to get. So it's a question of, do I need this right now or do I want this right now? And I mean, we still got on the movie front some great stuff coming in the weeks to follow, and I'm going to be touching on some of that in my next video. But here it is, my long-awaited Let It Be Deluxe Super Edition box set thingy. And I did an unboxing of it, which here it is. So I'm going to be talking about the Giles Martin mix and the bonus stuff, the Glenn Johns compilation, and the Dolby Atmos and 5.1. So I will tell you right off the bat, I love the new mix that Giles did. And I've said that about all of them. I love what Giles has done. Each goal, each box set, each new mix that he has done, or remix, whatever you want to call it. I hate to use the term remix because that has a different connotation nowadays. When people think of a remix, they think of the 12-inch club dance remix that is essentially a remake of the song. And with Sgt. Pepper, the goal was to do a stereo mix that basically took the great care that went into the mono, if that makes sense. They made a stereo mix that if the Beatles paid attention to a stereo mix, what would that stereo mix have been like? Well, it would have been like this. What worked in the mono is there, and what worked in the stereo is there. So that was good. The White Album was a bit more to bring the band to the forefront, and that's pretty much been the goal of all of them. Bring the band to the front a bit more. I also think the White Album was a chance to do what the best of the mono and the best of the stereo, because the mono mix of the White Album was drastically and deliberately different than the stereo. Abbey Road, the same thing, and Abbey Road is a pretty good stereo mix to begin with, the original. So, what did Giles do on Let It Be, the new mix? Well, in a nutshell, he made it sound like a much more cohesive album. If the truth be told, Let It Be was kind of a mishmash. I mean, you got 3 songs from the Rooftop, be it Dig a Pony, I Got a Feeling, and One After 909. You have a song that was originally done in 1968 at Abbey Road that was never done to the songwriter's satisfaction. You have a song that was done at Abbey Road in earlier mid 1970 with "I Me Mine." You have Let It Be. You have Let It Be, Two of Us, The Long and Winding Road, For You Blue, and Get Back, which were done at the Apple Studios, but overdubs on Let It Be were done in early the same session they did I Me Mine at, where they added more backing vocals, Paul added another bass part, and they added the horns, kind of ignoring the rule of no overdubs at that point. And then Phil Spector was brought in, and we all know what happened there. He overdubbed Strings and Choir on Across the Universe, I Me Mine, The Long and Winding Road. So there you go. So what Giles did was made it a much more cohesive sound. Not so much of a mishmash. I do think Two of Us is a bit bass heavy, and that's George on bass there. And that's just a tad bass heavy, but that's a minor complaint in the overall scheme of things. I'm happy now with the way the orchestration sounds. The orchestration was done by Richard Hewson, who Paul actually worked with on the Mary Hopkins record, I believe. So I don't know why he was against the Long and Winding Road orchestration, but that's neither here nor there. But this isn't like despectorized, so don't think that. The orchestra's there, but the orchestra is in its proper place as sort of a sonic bed. It's not overpowering. So Long and Winding Road, you're able to make out more of the Beatles playing. You're able to make out Paul's beautiful piano melodies that he has in there. You're able to make out the piano melody at the end. So you're able to make out all of that stuff. And the orchestra is there where it should have been as a sonic bed. And Giles, in his liner notes, sort of gets why his father was upset, but also kind of defends Phil Spector's orchestrations too. So it's a bit of both. But now you have an album that really feels like an album. Really feels like it all goes together. And that's something I like. I think that the stereo separation is really good. Giles is pretty faithful. But for I Me Mine, another one that had a stereo mix. But on this one, unlike what they did on Come Together on Abbey Road and Sexy Sadie on the White Album, when I read Kevin Howlett's liner notes, track notes, I found out that the drums, Ringo's drums, were actually recorded to 2-track, and then they did a reduction mix and got them down to 1 track. So maybe the way Giles actually is able to get the unbounced, the pre-bounced down tracks, maybe they were able to go back to Ringo's original drum track, because that's a full stereo track. And I've already talked about how much I love that. So overall, I like the new mixes. There's no reinventing the wheel on the Rooftop tracks, like Dig a Pony, I Got a Feeling, and One After 909. Those, except the separation is a lot better. There's a greater balance to the instruments on there. And like I said, I Me Mine with the orchestration, the tracks with the orchestration are much better now. They have a much more cohesive sound. And like I said, much more cohesive overall throughout the record. The Apple sessions and the rehearsals and jams. I know people are complaining about why isn't the Rooftop concert on there. I'm just going to say my piece on that. We're going to get the Rooftop concert, the full, complete Rooftop concert in Peter Jackson's Get Back film. But I don't think we really need to hear 4 versions of Get Back. One of them, I think, being a breakdown. 3 versions of Dig a Pony. 3 or 4 versions of Don't Let Me Down. It's not like the Beatles were going through their entire catalog and doing stuff on the Rooftop. It's not like they played I Want to Hold Your Hand and Help and All My Loving like the old days and you heard them play Sgt. Pepper. It was the 4 or 5 songs that they were working on, and they did those multiple times. It was almost like a dress rehearsal for possibly a bigger concert. When you hear the Nag recordings, John was talking about it being a dress rehearsal. So that's interesting. So I'm not upset about that. I would have liked the original full 7.5 minute version of Dig It, but that's been bootlegged to death. But we review what we have. We don't review what we like. So as far as the Apple sessions, I love what I'm hearing. I love the version of All Things Must Pass, and I could hear the band influence on that now. I love hearing some of the talking in between stuff. I particularly like hearing George talking about cheese sauce on his cauliflower and basically saying over and over, and make sure they have cheese sauce for the cauliflower. You know, I want cheese sauce on the cauliflower. Okay. And it actually was making me crave, just like when I heard the White Album box and George talking about Marmite sandwiches, and it kind of made me want to try Marmite. I had a craving for cauliflower with cheese sauce that weekend. And I didn't have cheese sauce, but I sprinkled some shredded cheese on my cauliflower. So there you go. And, you know, the rehearsals and jams, I like that a lot. So I have no complaints on these Sessions and Apple Jams disc. I'm finally happy to have the first Glenn Johns mix. I know there's been some complaints about what mixes were used and all that, what versions were used. That stuff does not bother me. I have a bootleg of the second edition when they finally had decided to include Across the Universe and I Me Mine. But this was the first time I heard this. I will be honest, it's not amazing. If this was released, I don't think it would have gotten great reviews. I mean, you have the whole sequence of Save the Last Dance for Me, into Don't Let Me Down, into Dig a Pony, and into I've Got a Feeling. So Don't Let Me Down was not going to be the hit single version that we all know and love. I've Got a Feeling actually breaks down. So you don't get a full song there. I cucked it up trying to get loud. Not bad though, which is what John says. But it does have a feel of a concept album, probably more of a concept album than Sgt. Pepper, especially with the reprise of Get Back at the end, where it fades back in. It does feel like a well-rounded concept album, a legendary band, warts and all, trying to learn how to play like a band again. And even the Let It Be album, with the new cohesive sound to it, has that feel too. It has a conceptual feel to it again, like that. I love the mixes on the Let It Be EP, especially love the new mix of the single version of Don't Let Me Down. But I played, as far as the surround stuff, I played the Atmos mix. I have an Atmos system in my living room. Yes, it's an Atmos 5.1.2 soundbar. Sorry, but that's what works for me. Okay? So it's one of those things that have the overheads aimed at the ceiling, and it bounces off the ceiling onto the ground. But anyways, I played the Atmos mix, and it's beautiful. You do have, I wasn't able to notice a lot of height stuff, but basically you are surrounded. The strings surround you. It's like you are in the room with these guys playing. Nothing too fancy, but it's not extremely front heavy either, the way the Plastic Ono Band was as far as Atmos. Very front heavy, not too much happening in the surrounds or heights. I think that the heights on this are more for ambiance, but what I got in the surround, and when I heard the 5.1, basically the album with the orchestrations happening in the rear channel. I do recall on I Me Mine the guitar part being in the height channels. So I'm just going to have to double check that one again to see if what I was hearing was height or all 5 channels, but I could have sworn that was in the height channels. But overall, as a surround mix, as an immersive mix, I recommend it. I think Giles has just gotten better and better and better with what he's done for surround, and now what he's doing with Atmos. Because I'm one of those people that once Dolby invented Atmos for the Pixar movie Brave, it's been no turning back. I love anything that says Dolby anyways. So even on the 5.1 of Sgt. Pepper and the White Album, I played the Dolby True HD track on that. So there you go. So overall, this is a good set. I asked for the vinyl edition for Christmas, so hopefully Santa will be very good to me, so I could hear, because I definitely want the Get Back album on vinyl. Just to have that on vinyl would just be a thrill to me. But this is a good set, a really good set, and really made me look at Let It Be again with new and fresher eyes, and this new stereo mix is going to be my go-to, because of just the overall sound of it, and like I said, it's more unified now. So that's my take on this, and I really appreciate it. Give me some of your thoughts, and I'm definitely looking forward to them. leave them in the comments, and I'll definitely talk to you all soon.